Okay, so what we're going to do with this video is we're going to review Unit 2 and the things that hopefully you have been looking at and studying. Hopefully you've been taking my recommendation and have gone through and been studying your symbols on your flashcards that you made, okay? Just like with Unit 1, I'm going to tell you exactly what's on your Unit 2 assessment, so you need to take notes. I'm getting the impression that maybe, after going back and looking at some of the Unit 1 assessment grades, that maybe some of you aren't taking the notes, because then you can use those in your assessment to answer the questions. Plus, with these assessments, I have them set up that you can look and see which ones you get wrong. And then you can go back in and do the quiz again so that you can correct those mistakes. So I give you a couple of chances to be able to go back in and redo those quizzes. So make sure that you're taking advantage of those opportunities that I'm giving you, okay? So with this assessment, I'm going to tell you it is a matching assessment online that you're going to do in Schoology. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a column of words, and then in the right side, it's basically a click and drag thing. There's going to be blank boxes on the right side in the second column. And the word bank with the symbols and the words is at the bottom. So you literally have to scroll down, and you're going to click on and drag the definitions or the symbols up to match those words in that left column. And I have these same directions up in the assessment. So it says the same thing. Just make sure that you're reading everything. Read your direction, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to review these things that are on your quiz. So right now we're going to review these two things. And if you remember from last week, we talked about how notes are symbols that show sound or silence. Sound. They show sound, okay? So when you have notes, those are the symbols that show sound. And you're going to match that definition, this definition, to notes on your assessment. Rests are then the opposite. They're symbols that show what? Silences. That's very important. Okay. Rhythm. The definition that I put up of rhythm is it is the long and short sounds and silences used in music. And that definition should be on there almost word for word for that, okay? Now notation, I mentioned it in one of the videos if you were watching. Notation is the fancy pants word that we use when we talk about the symbols, and I'm talking about notes and rest, used to write music, okay? So notation is the word where we're talking about notes and rest, those symbols, okay? Rhythm is long and short sounds and silences, okay? Don't get these two confused, okay? So then this brings us to measures. Remember from Unit 1, and we've still been talking about measures here. Measures are the sections of music that contain beats, okay? And remember, they are separated by bar lines. Measures are separated by bar lines. And this definition should be almost word for word on that assessment, okay? So use your music binder. Take these notes, okay? Measures are those sections of music that contain the beats, okay? And the bar lines are what cut the music into sections, which brings us to this one. Bar lines cut music or separate music, it might be that word, separate, music into measures, okay? Now, the reason why I have the word two and the word four on here is because 2 is the number of eighth notes it takes. I'm just going to put the number sign, hashtag, but number. The number of eighth notes it takes to fill up a beat. It fills one beat. Remember I showed you with the eighth notes, and I'm going to write it over here by the eighth note, that it takes 2 of them to fill up one beat. That's why the number 2 is on there, okay? Now you might guess why I have the number 4 on there. Because it's the number of 16th notes it takes to fill up a beat, okay? So it's the number of 16th notes it takes to fill one beat. Another way to say it is this: 2 eighth notes equals one beat. 4 16th notes equal one beat, okay? So you're gonna have these 2 words on your assessment and you're gonna have to match it to these definitions, okay? The rest of these are symbols that you just need to know what they are. You need to know that this is a whole note. This is a half note. This is a quarter note. You add a flag, it becomes the 8th note. 2 flags, the 16th note. The top hat off the head, that's the whole rest. The top hat on the head, that's the half rest. And then over here on this side, I have quarter rest, 8th rest, 1 little flag, 2 flags, 16th rest. And that's pretty much all you need to know to make a really good grade on your assessment, okay? Make sure you write these down and use these when you take your Unit 2 assessment. Good luck.